Hello, I am super excited to share with you today the Silk Naturals Summer 2013 makeup collection, which is called Lippiepalooza, because that's mostly what it is there's lots and lots of lip products. So if you love lip products like me, then you will be super excited about this collection. So one thing that is really awesome this time around is that a lot of the liquid lip glosses that Silk Naturals had, pretty much all of them I think, except for the really new ones that come in the new large tubes with a brush applicator, those stayed, but all the other ones in like the little tubes with the doe foot applicator and the squeezy tubes, they all got converted to a solid formula like the rest of their lippies. And that is awesome to me. I know, some people might prefer liquid lip glosses, but I prefer ones like this, especially because they're just as glossy. What it is essentially like the same formula as the liquid lip gloss, just made a little bit more solid so it can go in stick form, but on your lips, it's still, super shiny and glossy, like the same shininess and glossiness as their liquid lip glosses, which are kind of more of a creamy texture. They're not like the sticky, really mirror-like finished glosses. They're more of like creamy lip glosses. So I think it's the way that they shine on your lips is really, comparable to the way that they are now in the stick form. But the big advantage for me in having them like this is it's just so much easier to apply. You just, you go like this. If it's a sheer color, you might not even need a mirror. If it's in a little tube and you're dipping the little doe foot applicator back in a bunch of times to get enough product, to get enough color, I feel like I can't really apply liquid lip gloss without a mirror. I always have to, look or I mess up or something. So this to me is just quicker, easier. I can layer different colors easier as well. I can build up the color easier in this kind of form. So for me, this is like a win-win kind of situation. I think it's just so much better to have them like this, and I was super excited when they were getting converted because some of their liquid lip glosses are just the most gorgeous colors, or some of my favorite colors. So now I'm going to be using them so much more often now that they're in solid form. And this is called a Slick Stick. That's their new formula. They did release it last time with, spring, in the spring collection. So you already, if you tried the spring collection, about this formula. It's kind of similar to the Amplifying Lip Glaze formula, but it doesn't have the plumper and the menthol in it. But it's very shiny. It's very glossy and moisturizing and glides on smooth. And I really, really like this formula. I think it's a great formula for essentially a liquid lip gloss in solid form. One particular color that I was super excited about is Coy, which is a white. It's a sheer white, and you can layer it with other colors to essentially make them lighter and make them look more milky. And I love light lip colors, so this is something that is super useful to me. And then there was a whole new color called Betty, which is a pink with green iridescence, which is something that I have been wanting for absolutely ever. And so what I have on my lips today is Coy plus Betty, because Betty isn't really like a baby pink, but together with Coy it is. And so that's what I'm wearing, and this is like my new favorite lip color combo. If you are familiar at all, MAC used to have a really long time ago lipstick called Lollipop Loving, and I really thought it was so cool because it was like a baby pink with green iridescence, which you don't expect, and it doesn't look green on your lips. Only if you look close can you see the green, but it just does something like really neat to the color and adds, I don't know, just adds like that little something that makes it special, and so I kind of get that effect with these two. I mean, I never owned that lipstick. I've never, actually tried it on my lips. I just remember seeing it and thinking it was cool, and I feel like this is kind of comparable, Betty plus Coy, to lighten it up and make it more of a baby pink, and so I absolutely love this. And another really exciting thing is the return of Swank, which I missed when they originally had it, and they had it in the Kiss or Slicker formula, And then I was kicking myself for not trying it, because then I think maybe a pigment or something got discontinued and they stopped making it, and I couldn't find anywhere like for swap or anything like that. And it's a really neat color because it's a gray. It's a really sheer gray with a gold shimmer, and it gives a really cool effect on your lips. And so they were able to reformulate it and re-release it in this slick stick formula. So that's really exciting. If you were a fan of that color, or if you're like me and you're like, oh, I wish I got to try it while it was available, it is back. And then there is a completely brand new formula of lipsticks. And they look like this. So these right here are really, really bright, super, vivid colors. We're talking about like there's literally a bright orange in here, and a coral and a red. So if you love those kinds of bright, vivid colors, that's what these are. And I'll show you swatches, and I'll show you all the products in a second as well. And then kind of more wearable colors, the packaging looks a little bit different. It's still the same formula. They're still the vegan lipsticks, but they look like this. And a couple of these are like a little bit bright, but most of them are, pretty toned down and wearable shades. So the thing about this new formula of these vegan lipsticks is that it's not as balmy, glossy like a lot of their lip products are. It's more of like the traditional lipstick. It's a little bit less glossy, and it's very, very opaque and pigmented. So like a traditional lipstick, if that's something that you're, kind of missing in the Silk Naturals lineup, because a lot of their products are kind of more of like a gloss and a lipstick in one, or like a balm type lipstick, which I love because I love that glossy shine and I love that, really moisturizing feel. But I also really like these lipsticks because they last a really long time, and they're super pigmented. These ones don't have any dyes in them, ones that with this kind of label, but then the super bright ones obviously have to be able to be that bright, if that's something that, concerns you ingredients wise. And I myself will probably layer like the clear amplifying lip glaze on them, just because I really like that kind of shine, the kind of balmy, glossy shine that the rest of their lip products have. But I do really like how pigmented and opaque these are. And my favorite color out of them is probably Lois, which is a really wearable kind of nude pink shade. And then there's one new cream eyeshadow called Marvel, and it's a really pretty color. If you're a fan of Doubloons, which is one of their more popular shades because it's absolutely gorgeous eyeshadow, this is sort of like the cream version of Doubloons. They're not exactly the same, but they're very, very similar. I think maybe once you have them in your eyes, you might not be able to tell the difference, but if you, swatch them right next to each other in your hand, you can tell just, a very slight difference. But if you love their cream eyeshadows, this is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful color. And there's lots of new tools and gizmos that seem kind of neat and fun to try. So I already have the blackhead remover from the Mystery Adventure Club package. That's a new one. Something I forgot to mention when their previous spring collection came out, I think that's the time when they got a little beauty blender dupe sponge, which I don't have because I already have a whole bunch that I bought from TJ Maxx, but they have one that, looks like the ones with the, that kind of shape, and it's black. And so there's, another place that you can get one of those beauty blender type dupes. And then they have something that I bought that I haven't had a chance to use yet, which is a little towel. It's actually kind of a big towel, and it has a really rough texture to it. It's really scrubby, so that'll be great for like exfoliating your body. And then there's a whole bunch of other things too. So now I'm going to show you all the products. First I'm going to show them to you in the container like this, up close, so you can really see what it looks like. I want to describe all the colors to you. Then I'm going to show you swatches on my arm right here in, this window light. And then I'm going to go outside and show them all to you in the sunlight so you can see how the sunlight hits it, the shimmer and stuff like that. One thing that I kind of messed up on is the first set I'm going to show you are all the slick sticks, but then I have Vroom at the very end, so you can just ignore Vroom, because then the next set that I show you are all of the vegan lipsticks, and I have that in that set. So you will see Vroom twice in my swatches. Modern Poet is a nice light nude color, It has tiny, tiny shimmers that are not, you know, too noticeable, and it is somewhat sheer. It's actually the perfect nude for me because I'm so fair that this doesn't come off being too dark or too brown. However, because it is sheer, it doesn't end up completely erasing your lips either. Innocent is just a beautiful, cool pink. It's somewhat light, but it's not like a baby pink, and it is also relatively sheer, but you can build it up somewhat. Saint Tropez is a nude color that has some peachy pink tones to it. Actually on me, just the warm, more of like peachy tones show up. And I could see this being like a My Lips by Better color for somebody that has, you know, somewhat warmer toned lips. Betty is an absolutely gorgeous pink with green iridescent shimmer. It looks really, really cool. It doesn't make your lips look green or anything, but it adds like a little something extra that looks really nice. Shrieking Violet is just that. It's a violet shade that is, you know, it looks pretty vivid in here, but it is somewhat sheer. So you can build it up, but it doesn't need to be, you know, nearly as vivid as it looks in the tube. And it has some very fine shimmer, almost like a pearlescent kind of effect to it. Icing is nearly a clear gloss, but it does have some very fine iridescent pink shimmer. And it's a very, very pretty shimmer. It's subtle. Coy is a very sheer, milky white. It is perfect for lippies that are too dark, that you want to lighten up and make them more milky. And I absolutely love it for that purpose. Swank is a very sheer gray color with lots of gold fine shimmer to it. It actually has a pretty neat effect on the lips where it kind of makes them look nude, and that gold shimmer gives them a little bit of like a metallic shine. But it's very sheer, so you don't have to worry about it coming across nearly as dark as it looks in the tube. So first is Modern Poet, then Innocent, then Saint Tropez, Betty, Shrieking Violet, Icing, Coy, then Swank, and then Vroom. And then up here, we have Marvel on the left, and then Doubloons on the right.
Yes, I'll go. No paint. No paint. Turn around.
Jane is a fairly bright pink. Velma is essentially like the peach version of Jane. It's the same depth, it is just a peach shade. Lois is a really nice muted pink shade. It's not too dark, but it's not too light. It's not, you know, like a baby pink or anything like that. It has just like a touch of nude to it. Sheena is a chocolatey brown shade with just a hint of plum or maybe pink to it. Wham is a really intense violet purple. It is like the brighter, more pigmented, and just a touch darker version of Shrieking Violet. Vroom is a very bright red, like a fire engine red color. Zing is a very bright coral red. Zap is a very bright orange. Left to right is Jane, Velma, Lois, Sheena, Wham, Vroom, Zing, and Zap. And here they are in the sunlight. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful to you, and I'll see you later.